become comfortable in your posture. If you are on the floor, you can cross your legs. And if you are on a chair or a sofa, you can cross your feet at the ankle. And then all 10 fingers into fingers, comfortably kept on your lap. And if you are wearing glasses, remove the glasses and gently close your eyes. Bring your awareness to your breath. Let us start. I'm going to replay this session now. Just follow the instructions as the meditation leader is going to communicate from time to time.
Let us all sit in meditation together. For meditation, sit in a comfortable spot. We need to cross our legs and clasp our hands by interlacing our fingers to create a circuit of energy. If you are sitting on a chair and your legs are hanging, simply cross them one over the other. Remove your spectacles if you are wearing any. And once you are in a comfortable space, gently close your eyes. For the next 30 minutes, we are going to just observe our breath. Just be with it. There is no right or wrong way to breathe. Your way is the right way. So just connect and be with the breath for the next 30 minutes.
fashion show starts in 5.
Hi.
Ooh, highlighter, huh?
मॉइश्चरायझर. माझा मॉइश्चरायझर हायलायटर देखील आहे. हायलायटरचा ग्लो आता मॉइश्चरायझर मध्ये. नवीन.
Be with your natural, normal breath. Just be with the breath. If there are thoughts coming and going, any sensations in the body, any feelings that are coming, let them come and go. Trust your breath. Stay with the breath. Last 1 minute. Start becoming aware of your body and your surroundings. Accept all the sounds around. Take a deeper breath in and exhale. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Put your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Now remove your hands from your eyes and gently open the eyes. Welcome.
Thank you, Abid, for such a beautiful meditation today. It was really energetic. I could join only for the last 10-15 minutes, but it was really, really beautiful. So thank you for enabling such amazing, amazing energies at all times. And to kickstarting a beautiful session today. Thanks everyone for joining in. I'll request all to switch on their cameras as they feel up to it. Today, I would start with a lot of gratitude to Sir, Patri Sir, to PSSM, to Pari, to all the masters who are here, to the admins, to organizers for not only creating a beautiful platform where all of us can connect with each other, but also to give me the space today to speak on the topic that I'm going to share with everyone today. Today's topic is, I think, close to everyone, to every pyramid master, to every person who is a part of PSSM, which is fundamentals of book reading, Swadhyaya. So I tweaked the topic today. The topic today is fundamentals of book reading or Swadhyaya and its miraculous benefit. So we are going to see the miracle of what reading can do to someone. And without further ado, let me dive into the topic straight away so that we do not waste on any time. Before I begin, Nandini, is my voice audible? Is everything okay on my part?
Everything is perfect.
Thank you. Okay. So today I'll start with one question. Can you imagine, for 2 seconds, can you imagine the first thought, the first belief system, faith, or any ideas that went into writing the first book ever produced in human history? While there are many facts about the oldest books and the first ever recorded history of the first book, the Vedas and the Vedant, in fact, many recorded scriptures through art originate from Bharatvarsha. And this is something I say with pride. Bharatvarsha is basically the Republic of India, as we know today. In fact, Misra or ancient Egypt, Indus Valley and Harappan civilizations are also known for their knowledge of the same and how advanced they were. In fact, more than we can decipher or know in today's day and time. They were pretty advanced in whatever they were doing, the kind of knowledge that they were receiving, the kind of discoveries that they were doing. It was par excellence. Now, why is this information important? We are doing Swadhyaya. This is not related. But the point is the roots are as important as the tree. If the roots are not okay, the tree is going to be a bit shaky, right? So if we want to see the tree and the fruits, the tree bearing the fruits, we have to keep the roots strong. So this is the roots we are getting into. Now, another interesting fact that you might be not able to find on Google, and I, precisely focus on not find on Google, is the downloads of information that Pleiadians brought along with them when they first came to settle down on Earth as we know today. And all the information that kept pouring down on humankind, because a lot of information downloads were happening when Earth was initially being settled by the extraterrestrials. Now I'll be using certain terms today which might make you think, okay, what she's really talking about, but please know that these are the topics we'll be covering in future coming classes. And we will definitely be taking some advanced classes as well, but hang in with me, you will get the hang of the whole topic that I'm going to do with you now. So what was recorded in the prehistoric era and the cosmic or spiritual materials as we read now on Earth, as we have the collection that we can touch base, that we can pick up, that we can read, was directly or indirectly recorded by the ascended masters, beings from the ether, or those who we know as extraterrestrials, as I mentioned before, or I would like to call them eternal teachers, because they are always teaching us through thoughts, through some videos, through a person. They are walking right by us and we would not even recognize, that they are walking. Now, when this is said, let me move on to the beauty of Swadhyay, what really Swadhyay is. So Swadhyay is a compound Sanskrit term which is composed of two words, swa and dhyaya. So swa means self and dhyaya means, or intending to mean, meditating on. Now the root of this word, there is, in Sanskrit, every term comes from some root. So the root term of adhyaya is dhyai, or which means there. The meaning is to meditate, to contemplate, or to think of. So in general, if we take it as whole, the term Swadhyay therefore can connote contemplation, meditation, a reflection of self, or simply to study one's own, one's own enlightenment or one's own journey. So Swadhyay in simple terms here or there means studying of everything that connects us with the divine. Now, Swadhyay can be translated into number of aspects, okay? Number of ways. Some translate it as study of the scripture, some simply use the term study without quantifying into a particular type, and also self-study or spiritual education. But as we engage in Swadhyay, there are two aspects of Swadhyay which are very, very important and we must look at. The first aspect is our mind, ego, personality, and physical body. Okay, I'll repeat again: mind, ego, personality, and physical body. Now, why is this important as the first aspect of Swadhyay? Because until we deeply examine our thoughts, words, and behavior and align them with our authentic spiritual journey, it will be quite difficult to become our best version and walk the path of eternal wisdom that we are meant to walk, or to get the enlightenment that we so seek. I'm sure everyone today here who's sitting with us, all the members who've joined in, they seek something from this course. They seek that, whatever we are sharing here in experience, whatever we are teaching each other, as we teach you, you teach us. It is a give and take. There's no student here. We are all teachers, right? This is something that sir used to say, and it has imbibed in my head clearly. So to be that teacher, we must, understand this aspect of Swadhyay. And the second aspect is, it's the more traditional aspect, wherein it is the study of self or of our divine essence. Our divine essence is what we are seeking here. It is the practice of getting to know. I'm sorry, I have some cold, so I might fumble here and there. So please bear with me today. So what is Swadhyay? Swadhyay is the practice of getting to know our true nature beyond our personality. Okay, the first aspect we were talking about was thoughts, body, mind. Now we're going to the other aspect, which is more traditional. What we are saying here is that Swadhyay is basically moving away or stepping beyond the thoughts, the body, the emotions, and all of that combined. Anything that is in this physical realm, which we might call the apparent reality also, we have to move away from this particular aspect, okay? So there are many ways, there are many ways which we can unearth a deep connection to the divine. And reading is one of the best that we can indulge in. When we read, there is a huge plethora of multiverse that opens here and here. So we are expanding with every word that we are sinking in, every word that we are taking in, right? And also there's another aspect which I will share with pride, which is, it is great knowing, that Swadhyay is also, and this is something that does not popped up like in the modern culture or just in the 90s, or maybe we discovered it maybe in some 15th medieval century. No, Swadhyay is something which goes beyond time. And it is something which is also one of the 3 key elements in Patanjali's sutras. And Patanjali's yogic sutras date back to, I don't know which BC. They've been there since time immemorial. And the pride bit, which I said that I share with pride, is that it is also one of the key elements of the 5 pillars of PSSM. So what are the 5 pillars of PSSM? Let me give you a short introduction. I won't go into the details, but just the points. So first is breath meditation or anapanasati. Okay. The second is plant-based living, or shakahar as we call it in Hindi. The third is swadhyaya, or self-study, or reading books. Fourth is Sajjan Sangatya, what we are doing right now, being in the right company of people. Swadhyay, by the way, also means reading right books. This is what we are doing. Sajjan Sangatya is right company. We are in the right company of people. And fifth, and which is the most important, is the pyramid energy, or the pyramid urja. These are the 5 pillars of PSSM. So Swadhyay is also one of the 5 key elements of PSSM. And this was some bit of a wow moment for me when I first got to know about it. Also because I was pursuing my master's in philosophy back in 2015 when I got into PSSM. So this was something I was already reading. I was already studying about it. And when I met Sir, when he started talking about the same things, I was like, okay, finally I have some direction. So what I learned with this interest of reading, because someone who's doing theoretical bits, I mean, I went into philosophy for 5 years. I did my bachelor's, I did my master's in philosophy. I'm right here, I'm sharing my story also. So when I was doing that, I had to read a lot. And I was like, okay, there must be some purpose to what I'm doing, because initially I actually wanted to do English lit. I wanted to do honors in English literature, but I ended up doing honors in philosophy. And to the fact that I loved what I was doing, I loved philosophy. I was like, okay, this is exactly what I needed in my life. But that question remained, why not English literature? Why I couldn't do that? So that was the time when I got the answer, because I had to do this. I had to understand something on the deeper aspect, and philosophy does that to you. I mean, now that I have read a lot of books, and I come from a different mindset altogether. I know that everything, comes to a close. Everything starts to make sense at one point in time. So going back to the topic, let me give you today, now that I've given you the basics of it, one of the best formulas, one of the best mathematical formulas that I have come across. I hated maths, by the way. I still do to some bit. The school maths is not something that I could get. But this formula, this one mathematical formula, is something which is the easiest, which is the most amazing. And it was coined by Patri. So it is absolute love, which is 3 + 2 + 1. Now, what is this 3 + 2 + 1 formula? So 3 hours of meditation, 2 hours of swadhyay or reading books, and 1 hour of Sajjan Sangati or being in the right group of people. This is 3 + 2 + 1 formula, which is one of the greatest formula that I have come across. And this is one formula which he said we must practice every single day. whatever, however many days are there in a year, we have to do that. 365 days there are in a year. We have to do it every single day without fail. So that is something which was really, really cool for me. And I also want to quote Sir from one of his, spiritual talks in Chennai many, many years ago, where he said, there are many planets in our solar system, or which of one of them is our residential planet, Earth. Now, this beautiful planet, this particular planet is tended by many, many galaxies far away from our own galaxy. And you can only get and understand this knowledge by reading the right spiritual books by great authors. And some of which are Barbara Marcinia, Barbara Hancock, Judy Satori, and many other great masters and authors. This is where I'm quoting Patri ji from one of his spiritual talks. So put it simply, my dear friends present here today, in PSSM, there is great respect for all authors, great respect for all masters who come from a place of heart, who come from a place of aware conscience, who come from a place of uplifting this beautiful planet, Mother Gaia. And I would want to give you a glimpse and name of a few or some of many authors which Sir has recommended. In fact, you can go to PSSM website, wherein you click under the tab of recommended books and authors by Patriji, and you get the whole list. It's plethora, but some of them which I really, really connect with are Ramtha, who's channeled by JZ Knight, Dr. Joey Dispenza, Robert Scott, he's my absolute favorite. Dr. Masaru Emoto, another one who's beautiful, amazing, amazing author. Harold W. Percival, Neville Goddard, Thich Nhat Hanh, Louis L. Hay, and many, many more. So these are few which I really, really connect with. And there is like a whole list of books and authors that you can get from that website. Okay. Now, where am I going with all of this information? I am going to that main aspect of we can only understand the importance of reading books, in Sir's life, owing to the fact that he had read more than 20,000, more than over 20,000 titles throughout his human suit that he was on Earth. More than 20,000, it is not a joke. Okay. And he had actually edited and written over 60 plus titles. So for me, he is one of the most voracious readers and one of the greatest writers that ever existed in human history that there can be. And we will remember him for that because he has given us that gift of reading. And another bit is, and which is a little shocking, he started reading at the mere age of 7 and 8. And he was not reading, Pinky and Gulu. He was reading that, but the books he started with was Shakespeare. There was some book, Padagalu, in Telugu, which has 1,000 verses. Padagalu means 1,000 verses, which was written by some author. He was 7 or 8 and he was reading those kind of books. So we can only imagine the amount of reading he had done, the kind of consciousness he came from. Okay. Now, what are the benefits of reading books? Why we should do Swadhyay? What is the importance? Why are we even introducing this topic today? This is something very common. We can Google it, but why is this particular organization, this particular program so hell-bent on teaching or enabling about Swadhyay? Again, something by Sir. Remember this, the less you read, the more you think you know. Okay, the less you read, the more you think you know. And with this, I would want to quote some Hindi idioms, actually, which are my absolute favorite. One is Thota Chana Baje Ghana. Okay, this is in Hindi. And what does it read to? That one who is with half knowledge speaks the most. Okay. The other one is Adjal Gagri Chalkat Chai. Again, this is a Hindi idiom, which translates to basically pot filled with, pot with half water keeps overflowing, meaning people with half knowledge speaks the most. So what was Sir trying to say here? The lesser you know, the more you would want to blabber. The more you know, you would want to keep quiet because you know what is happening around you. You would not want to get into that rut of conversation where you want to prove a point, where you want to tell, okay, you are wrong and I am right. That is what reading does to you. It makes you wiser. It makes you more tolerant. It makes you more patient with people. And it expands your heart. because you are reading many cultures, many masters. There is a different kind of information download that is happening with you. Okay. And now with this, what I've shared, it truly depends on us if we want to be in this category of, stupid people who are not knowing and want to speak the most, or we want to, truly enrich ourselves with the true knowledge splattered in ink across millions and trillions of life-changing titles by great authors. It totally depends on us. And this is something hard-hitting that I wanted to say today, Now, coming to the aspect, the benefits of reading books, okay? The actual benefits of reading books, which are countless ones. The studies have proven that people who read on regular basis can recall things better, have less chance of Alzheimer's and brain fog, and readers are naturally exposed to the vastness of the world. The world is very vast. We think we know sitting here, what is happening in the world through media, but that is not true. We know the world only when we start to read. And this is something that Sir believed, that all of us believe here in PSSM. Okay. So when we start to read, those ideas, those cultures begin to seep in. We start to know more. We begin to understand people because we're reading authors. We begin to understand their psyche, their mental status, their mindset, their heart, their brain, as where they're coming from. The horizon expands to such an extent that we cannot be boxed into the ideals of society. And we begin to live free in our mind. When we begin to read, you cannot box us. The chains are gone. The society cannot tell us you live this way or you live that way. We actually begin to live in a very different manner. We begin to see things in a very different manner. And why is that? Because this is something what I have also believed, that Earth years in this human form are not enough to know all the titles, all the things, or to know every aspect of this world in and out. They are not enough. So what does books do? When we start reading the books, actually, that horizon becomes a little smaller for us, because we see all of that. We learn more. We learn more. This was Patriji's belief, and I actually stand by it. And I will stand by this, that reading makes a man or a woman perfect, because, we are not complete in certain sense. Nobody is perfect, and we are perfect in our imperfections. But what does book do? They make those imperfect perfections really perfect. We might not be, master of all, but we become jack of all trades. Sir always said, I'm jack of all trades, but I'm master of meditation. So you master one, but be jack of all trades. And that can only come through Swadhyay, that can only come through Sajjan Sangatya, that can only come through plant-based living, that can only come through meditation and pyramid energy. So the 5 pillars of PSSM repeats every time in whatever Sir believed and said. So let me conclude today's session with 5 excellent benefits of spiritual books. And I leave you with questions and something to ponder up with each of them. First, scientifically, forming a healthy reading habit every day sharpens memory, helps release stress and anxiety, and is even known to overcome depression. Depressed people always feel isolated, okay? Always feel isolated. They feel that they're alienated from the society. They do not have any friends. They cannot be here or there. And this is not a sickness, guys. Depression and anxiety seep in like colorless void, and anyone can be a party to it. So there is nothing to be ashamed about it. First thing first. If you are facing any of such issues or problems, you are not alone in this. You are not sick. You are not mentally ill. You are not you are not a nomenclature, or you're not someone who's out of the society, or someone who's we are all black sheeps here. So if you're a black sheep, if you think you are one, welcome. We are all black sheeps. We are all as crazy as you are. This is something I wanted to put out there. So why reading? Reading actually helps in depression a lot. Because all that feeling of alienation, of being left aside, of that anxiety, of that stress of, how can I do this? How can I do that? It actually begins to evaporate. Because when we read, the authors that we are reading, they help us minimize those feelings through their beautiful words. They splatter magic in ink through those pages when we are reading them or we are kindling them, whatever we are doing, there is magic in those words. And that is helping us minimize whatever, depression or anxiety we are feeling. And what does it do? It actually helps us see that, there is a light at the end of the tunnel because we feel inspired by what they are writing. We do not feel alone as much because we relate to certain things or certain aspect they're saying because they are as black sheep as you are. The first point. Now, second point. The combination of 5 pillars of PSSM, especially the 3+2+1 formula, which is 3 hours of meditation, 2 hours of reading books, and 1 hours of being in the right company, has some great real life examples from this organization we call home, which has not only changed life of many, many pyramid masters, but also all those who surrounds them. It is like a huge ripple effect. So when you get into that 3+2+1 formula, it's a huge ripple effect that you're creating around you. When you start meditating, when you change your eating habits, when you start reading books, just things change. You become a mirror. And when people start seeing the mirror, they want to change because sometimes we do not like what we see in the mirror, right? And we are the mirrors for the society. We have to keep showing them that light sometimes, even if we have to become that, devil out there. Every black sheep is the family's devil because we are doing something out of the box, because we want to step out of our comfort zone. We want to shake their roots. Okay, wake up. It's enough. So that is what reading books do to you. Third, reading not only improves our vocabulary, but also our communication skills, intuition, and our world view expands exponentially. And that extent is so much that you stop seeing things around you defined by the social construct of all that we know of today's society and living standards by social norms. And if this is not freeing, this particular bit, I don't know what is. That reading books can actually free you of the societal norms, can free you of the box that we have been caged in. Society is the biggest golden cage that can ever be, where we've been, told to live in a certain way, walk in a certain way. A woman should do this, a man should do that. To an extent, you can adjust with certain things, of course, but there are certain things you cannot compromise on, right? So that is what books give you. That freeness, that freeing ability to be whoever you want to be, to just move in that knowledge that all is well. Fourth point, and the second last point. Reading makes you patient. This is one of my favorite points. Reading makes you patient and tolerant. And not in the negative sense of the term as we use today, but as an individual, holistically. When we read good books, those which inspire us, make us feel happy and vibrant, also teaches us the virtue of being patient and more tolerant about many, many aspects of our life. Simply because now we see everything has many sides, Everything which has a coin has not only 2 sides, but many sides to it. And your mind is a free place and your heart
Okay, did we lose Radhika?
Yes, I guess there's some technological glitch.
Okay. All right, we'll wait for her. I'm sure she'll be back. But yes, no, she's not. Okay. But friends, today's topic, which is reading right books, is very something to think about, because this is a topic that we all know. We all know reading is great. We all have been taught that since our childhood. Reading is great, and probably more as such, like education books is good, and we have not really been taught on what books are we supposed to read and why. Why is reading so important? As Radhika comes back, I want to share a few thoughts about reading itself, in the sense like reading, we can sit and read magazines, People or Vogue or any other magazine, but it is information is frequency, information is light. This is a quote from, this is not my words, this is a quote from Barbara Marciniak, or from the book Bringers of the Dawn. A wonderful book again, Bringers of the Dawn. Absolute must read book. So information is light. So, and information is frequency. We've been talking about that. So the book that you take, Bhagavad Gita, Bible, or Quran, or any other book, it has the highest frequency, Kabbalah. So when we read such books, we enter into that frequency, that frequency, that bandwidth, and we start raising into that. So that is what happens. That is why information, what you're reading, what you're consuming, is very important. Now, also, as every time, see, we are all doing the same things every day, talking the same conversations and expecting our lives to change, our lives to be something different, something exciting, but we are having the same conversations with the same friends, same family members, and it's in repeat mode. And again, as Einstein said, if you do the same thing and expect different results, you're insane. Basically, so we need to change our brain. Again, we talked about our brain wiring. It is always changing. Our brain is ever evolving. It is never constant. Every thought we have, what happens? We have neurons. And Radhika is back. I'll end in a minute. We have neurons. And every time we have a thought, there is a firing of the neuron. And based on the thoughts, there is communities created. So if you have the same thought, same communities are being activated. So if you want a different community or different pattern to be imprinted in your life, you need to activate different thoughts. And how do you have different thoughts? The very source is reading the books, getting that wisdom. So reading books is a must. It is a great practice. And I'm going to share with you something that you probably don't have to spend thousands of dollars in going, because there are courses that tell you how to actually read. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips after Radhika has finished. Then we'll talk about the tips on how you can actually get into the practice of reading. So wait for that. Okay, Radhika, you're back now.
Thank you, Dee. Thank you for holding that space for me. I'm sorry. I think this is because when we share energetic topics, I think electronics for me always go kaput. It's always happened. So this was nothing new for me. So I'm back with a lot of energy. So what I was on the last point where I was going to quote Patri sir, which is, if you do not read, you lack common sense. Okay, and I say with that all the added drama, all the things that there can be, that you lack common sense if you're not reading. And people with a lack of common sense are very, very dangerous human beings. That is what he said. People with a lack of common sense are very, very, very dangerous beings. Now, what did he mean by this? It came to me as simply as it would. The entire meaning, what he was trying to say is that lack of common sense not only make people fool themselves into knowing everything, they also lose balance in life. They're balanced people, okay? And so much so that they actually get confused. They actually get confused between the actual and the apparent. Am I audible to everyone, or am I breaking in between? Okay, I'm audible. Thank you. While the truth really is, when we do Swadhyaya, as Pari was beautifully sharing that, how those neurons attract with each other, and that ripple effect that is happening in our brain, which helps us grasp all the information that is coming through the books. So when we do Swadhyay, not only we enrich our common sense, but we also become wise beyond our years and live a free life, which is basically free of complications, and we become more joyful. We become more enlightened in that space that we are. So where you want to stand thus far in your life with this information today is completely, it depends on you, really. Because in terms of personal experience, and I will just wrap up in another minute, is when we begin to read books, understand that there is the magnetic field around us is interacting with the magnetic field around that book, around that author who we are reading, and all the information that is coming in. And this I'm sharing through the experience of Robert Scott's. When I started reading that book, that book was something which came to me at the right point in life. I was really, really lost, and I needed some guidance, and he became that for me through certain chapters which I read in Your Soul's Gift by this beautiful author. So when I was reading that book, my whole body used to vibrate. And it was with time, with Sir's, sharing with his knowledge that, how the book was interacting with our environment, is how I understood that why that book had such a deep impact in my life. Some books, when you read them, there is so much energy in it that either you take a lot of time to go through the chapters and, take every information slowly and gradually, or you just finish in a go. There is no in between in there. It is because your magnetic field begins to interact very, very diversely with the magnetic field of that author and that book, all the information that has been given. So this is why it is very important that we inculcate the habit of reading books in our life. Everything that has to do with the 5 pillars of PSSM is science-based. There is no woo-woo here. We are not trying to, create a cult with this, or there is some different woo-woo things happening here. Everything is science-based, from reading books to using pyramid energy, to being in the right company of people, to breath meditation, and to becoming a plant-based conscious person, becoming a earth conscious person. Everything we do here is based, and so is book reading. And I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to read book every day, even if it starts with reading 1 page every day. Begin that if you haven't. We will definitely be sharing the list of books which we have. Of course, I've already told you, you can go to PSSM website and check the authors and the list of books that has been shared by Sir. So with that, thank you so much for allowing me the space to speak today, for being such a great audience, and for bearing with all the glitches that came in between. And thank you, Paridi, for holding that space for me. And I'll take a pause here before we go to the question answers. I would give it over to Pari. Please share your points that you said that you wanted to share.
Well, first of all, I want to say what a wonderful class today on reading books. Giving us all the basics, going back to the history, the origin, and really enlightening today about the reading, which is not something new, which has been there forever. So thank you, Radhika, for that amazing session today. And truly, it's like PSSM here. We are here to create masters, not followers. There are no followers here. And that is the main essence, that we are all masters. We are all here to share, and there is no guru, no anything like that. And that is the true essence, and that is what we want to bring it here. So we shared a lot of books with you guys. A lot of book names have been thrown around. One of the first things that we see in our classes when we do this is people get overwhelmed with so much now plethora of resources. Like, I need to read this, I need to read this, I need to get this, I need to get that. This happens, and I totally understand. because now it's like so much happening. But also I would say is just take a breath and choose one book that resonates with you. And while you're reading it, it may even happen like, oh my gosh, I'm still in page 1, but there are so many other books to read. When will I get there? And you'll have this overwhelm, this anxiety, but just stick to that book and start reading it. And just go with it. Give yourself permission to be with that book, and give yourself permission to be okay not to be with other books. This is important so that we can get into the habit, because especially if you're a beginner and you're reading and you have read books, maybe been very long and you're not into it anymore because of the videos that we have now. Not many of us are into reading. So if you're especially a beginner, pick a book and make a commitment to yourself to stick with that book. And the second thing is, what I recommend is doing is give yourself like a 10 to 15 minutes every day. Put that on the calendar and say, hey, this is my reading time, whether it's morning or evening or afternoon. Just pick some time, put it on your calendar. And for, again, this is all for beginners. What you would do is, if you have a book, take your finger. This is called finger pacing, or a pen, whatever you want, a pen or a finger. And just as you're reading, go like this, put your finger and read it. Because what happens if you just read, sometimes we get distracted and we are gone into the thoughts. We don't even know when we are gone. And we come back and we're like, oh my gosh, I'm sleepy now. Let me just go back to sleep. And we become sleepy. I mean, our body and mind are so great in playing games with us. We actually become sleepy when we read books. I'm sure, if, you might have experienced this. So just make sure, take a pen or a pen, your finger, and just pace it. Read it through that. Finish 10 pages. Have targets. 10 pages I'm going to finish today. Or 15 minutes I'm going to read today. Have targets and stick to it. And I'm telling you, first, the process is not about finishing the book. The process is about creating the habit of reading a book. Okay, the goal is never to finish the book. The goal is about having that habit, the consistency about reading books. So that is where the we can have book clubs. If you're interested to have book club, let us know. So we can help create those book clubs, and maybe we can have some accountability like buddies, or we can invite people. Or if you want to host a book club, if you want to pick up a book club, and because that's what I do. If I have to do a program, my sister always makes fun of me. If I have to do a program, I'm going to make everybody do it. If I want to do a detox, I make everybody do detox, create a program on detox. But so if you are like me and you want people to do with you, then you become the host. You say, hey, Pari, I'm going to read Many Masters, Many Lives. I'm going to do a book reading. Can you help me? Create this. Then you have the support. We have all our volunteers ready to support you to create your book club, and start putting it out there and invite people to join your book club, so that we can have these book readings happening. So you, and along with you, there is a community built. It's a great initiative. So let us know. And how would you contact us? I would love to our admins to give the to put in the email or the global WhatsApp number, so that you can connect with us, reach out to us and say, if you're ready, I am ready. Can I start a book club right now? There are many ways. We also have YouTube channel, Pyramid Meditation channel, and we just have now the Oneness channel, that is PMC Oneness channel. So there are many YouTube channels that we can use to reach out to more audience. We can record, same thing, coming on Zoom, we do a recording session, and that gets uploaded on YouTube, so that many more can listen to it. So many times we get many participants also saying, Pari, I'm not much of a reader, but I would love to have audiobooks. That is something that many also say. So for them, they would just go to YouTube and click on the book, and then you have a book reading right there. So which is great. So we can use all these technologies and do it. Jitin Das says, I am associated with Buddha CEO's book club. Wonderful. So we can start PSSM book clubs here and invite people to join. So this is something that I'm very serious about. So if you want to host a book club, or you want to be a part of, however it is, let us know. We will help you to get there. We will help you to build your community and host your own book club and start with it. So thank you guys for this, for your presence today on a Saturday night here in US. It's truly wonderful when we all get together and commit to this group intention, which is doing Sajjana Sangatya, that is being around high vibrational people and meditation together. So I'm truly grateful for your commitment, truly applaud you, congratulate you for such amazing audience here. And if you have any questions about books, about anything, the floor is yours. Please feel free to ask. We have Radhika and Nandini and all the great masters, Tejal, here to answer your questions. So any question you may have. And we have Marisol here. Marisol can start, we can even start Spanish book clubs. That is something that we need to work on. Actually, when I am seeing you, I'm thinking about starting Spanish book clubs. So we need to do that. So any questions, guys? Anything? And let us know, how are the sessions going? What do you think about these sessions? Anything more you want us to do, anything different, let us know. We would love to hear your feedback as well, because your feedback is important to keep us going. And we finally finished 1 week. Yeah, 1 week is done, guys. Just 2 more weeks and you guys will be pro in meditation. What an amazing thing. So let us know anything and keep sharing. What books are you reading now? Radhika, what book are you reading?
I'm reading Red Moon by Miranda Gray.
Oh, wonderful. I'm going to get my book, what I'm reading. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show my new book.
Yes. Wow, Sankeet says he's reading Power of Now, which is amazing. That's a beautiful book. Guys, I would want to say this: sharing only helps us get to experience things better. If you have anything to share, Nandini has raised. Yes, Nandini.
A very good morning and good evening. Thank you for that session, Radhika. I think speaking on the importance of reading books is a never-ending topic, because you cannot vouch enough how important it is to read books. If see how unlimited or limitless you become when you bring books in your life. You feel, especially during quarantine, especially during lockdown, I think you might have experienced it. When you have nowhere to go, you can't meet people, you're feeling lonely, you stepped into inwards. And I got to meet people when they started telling that that was the time when they really took time to read books. So why disconnect from that activity? So stay with yourself, build to build this activity, to build this practice of reading books is at most important. You can meet so many people from that book, from that book, and I think I think my internet is unstable because everybody on my screen is frozen. I don't know
Yeah,
if my internet is
What's happening in Delhi?
technical glitches. Because we are sharing high power packed energies right now, so the internet is like, I can't bear this energy right now. I think that's what is happening right here.
Yeah.
Pari, please show the book that you said
Oh
you
yeah.
wanted.
So the book that I am reading is Your Story Making You Sick? Oops. So this is the book
This is
name,
so
Is Your
cool.
Story Making You Sick? And it has a lot of science about meditation. That's what I'm reading. So by the way, guys, in a book, even if you have one line that resonates with you, awesome. It is worth reading the book. Don't feel like I wasted. You never waste time reading a book. Always take what resonates with you and leave what that does not. So that is always the rule of thumb. So I'm seeing a lot of books here. Limitless by Jim Quick, wonderful book. I love that guy. And I'm reading Introducing Savitri by MP Pandit. Okay, wonderful. We would love to hear reviews about all these books as well. And we have Nalini with a message. Let's hear her message.
Hi, everyone. Actually, I have a question. Since our last 40 days Reinvent program, I started reading Mind to Matter book, and I think I was half done. Then it got too technical. Probably I lost interest after that. So I switched to Celestine Prophecy, and I just completed that book. It was so amazing, so interesting. And there were a lot of things that Radhika was talking about, the boundaries and energies in the last session. A lot of things were being spoken about in that book. In this, I have a question. Like, is that a series of books or just one book? Because I found that there are more books. It's been sold as a series also. So
Yeah.
I just finished one book.
Yes.
Oh, it's a series, is it? Okay. Okay, that's all I wanted to ask. Yeah.
Celestine Prophecy also has a movie. You can watch that movie also. Everything which is there in the book has been covered in the movie also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah, that's
books
very
have a
nice.
different fan base altogether, because when books are converted into movies, what you have in the book mostly does not, it does not really get that essence of what has been, done in the book. So you should definitely go for the other books of Celestine Prophecy.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Anybody else who wants to share something? Arunji.
This is not, I guess, a question about today's topic, but this is the book I'm reading, the Prosperity. But I have a question about pyramid. Anybody here in US, I can contact, I guess, for a pyramid, making a pyramid or building pyramid in the house or outside.
Yes. Where in India?
No,
in
in
here,
US, Pari.
in
Yes.
US.
We have people from India who can consult with us, at least talk to us
Okay.
about how to do it. So we'll connect with you with them.
Yeah, I think Tejal also already gave me the contact. I already called him.
Okay, wonderful.
But
wonderful.
nobody here, I guess local, right?
No, nobody here as of now yet. We have to find.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So guys, we would love to hear your experiences. I have a quote that I want to share, that there is no agony there is no agony like not sharing an untold, like no agony like bearing an untold story within you. Okay, so this is a quote. So if you have a story within you, then you must share that story. That has to come out. So sharing your experience is important. This has been the most quiet audience so far in our Reinvent course, which is good or bad, I don't know. But guys, we want you to hear from you. We want to learn from you. Also, share your resources. What helped you get into the habit of reading, or what is working for you? Please share with us, because that is something that we want to hear from you, and also share with our next batches, and everybody around here will also learn from you. So anything that you have, that the story within you has to come out. Everybody needs to know that. So yes. And also, by the way, next tomorrow we have a session on emotional intelligence and energy leaks. Absolutely must come. I would actually say, Nandini, post that session tomorrow everywhere, so people come join. This is a session that everybody should can take advantage. We are doing, by the way, we are doing all these free sessions. So we would love for everyone to take advantage of this time and effort put by each one of the organizers here. So join in, bring your friends. Tomorrow is a very a lot of informative session. A lot of information will be shared on emotional regulations, emotional intelligence. So I would invite everybody to join again tomorrow. And if we do not have any other questions or feedback, we can close for today, and we'll meet again tomorrow. All right.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Just
Yeah.
one quick thing that I want to share before we go. One very magical thing about books is, like, sometimes when you're really lost, you can pick a book, close your eyes, be with that book for 5 to 10 seconds or a minute if you want to meditate, and open that book with the closed eyes and read the paragraph or where your hand goes. It actually gives you the biggest insight with that current problem that you might be facing. And it also teaches you there is no problem but only solution. So books also helps us, other than patience and tolerance, it also teaches us that we can always be solution oriented and not problem oriented. And that is something that I wanted to close this session with. And again, thank you so much, Nandini and Paridi and everyone else here, Marisol, Tejal, all of you guys, for holding such beautiful space and being such a great audience. Thank you and bye bye.
Thank you. All right. Bye, guys.